Welcome to the third and final episode of Jane Hour. We're your hosts, Maddie,
Maya,
Aubrey,
Lindsay,
and Rose.
and this episode is just a wrap-up of the entire book review, talking about symbols.
I'm ready.
Let's talk about birds.
Let's talk about birds.
Okay,
Do you like birds, Aubrey? Do you like birds?
I
my
love
grandma
birds.
My grandma loves birds.
My
Birds are
grandpa loves
good.
birds. Anyway,
Okay.
birds. So she relates everybody to a bird, it seems like.
Pretty
Like,
much in where she is, she's always comparing people to birds.
Yep, and I think it's funny how she calls Rochester like a vulture or whatever that is at the end, and she like.
Oh my
That scared me for a second.
Keep talking. So, but I think how she calls everyone a bird. She calls Blanche a bird, Rochester, literally everybody, herself. I think it's interesting how at the end of the day, no matter what kind of bird, whether you're a vulture or like a canary or whatever, they're all birds. They're all people.
Oh snap, Maddie!
So I think she thinks of people as people, even if she doesn't like them. So I think the bird is a good way.
Put a marshmallow in my pencil case, like a wet one.
Lindsay. I think the birds represent enclosure and escape.
I think the birds are tired.
I think the birds represent people.
Yeah.
And like the imagery.
Like I
behind
said
them.
earlier, it's like a use of imagery. It's a use of comparison. It's hard to explain people the way they are without something of comparison. Like they use alter egos within people. But the birds are all throughout the book, and they're used to compare people with animals, and that allows you to understand their personalities more.
And I like how the bird can be applied to everyone and everything. It's not like, oh, he's a bird and she's a fish and she's this.
Yeah.
It's bird, bird, bird. You're just an ugly bird. You're a fat bird.
You're a spastic bird.
You're a beautiful bird.
You're a scoundrel bird.
Because it's such a diverse thing. It's almost limitless.
Yeah.
That you
There's
can
such
use
a
it
variety
to, right.
of birds.
And there's such a diverse amount of people in the book, amount of characters, amount of different types of personalities that birds can just kind of be plastered over. It's like bird,
Maybe
and it just covers it.
Maybe like the point of having the birds is like to say that you will encounter all sorts of people throughout your life.
Oh.
Oh, and there's like different birds in different places of the world, different parts of the world. Like just like there's different places that she travels to.
There you go.
There's a new species of bird there, or like new types of people.
And humans are like free willed, and so are birds, because we can go anywhere.
And she even she incorporates birds into her paintings too. On page 147, she says, one gleam of light lifted into relief a half-submerged mass on which sat a cormorant, dark and large, with wings flecked with foam. Its beak held a gold bracelet set with gems that I had touched with as brilliant tints as my palette could yield, and as a glittering distinctness as my pencil could impart.
What kind of bird did she call Blanche, or did she just describe a bird?
Who's Blanche?
Miss Ingram.
Oh,
The one
okay.
he was going to marry.
Yeah, I got you.
Fool.
She was like a something.
Yeah. Something else.
Something.
She described like all the people in the house as birds too.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if she gave Blanche like, you're a pigeon, not a pigeon, but like a specific bird, or if she just described her as a bird with wings and a beautiful whatever
Well,
color.
She says on page 240, someone says something. I don't know who it is. Hold on, look. Oh, dangerous. He's black. Miss Ashton.
The doves.
Yeah. Well, it just says, Miss Ingram, I am sure you will not fail in evincing superiority to idle terrors. Amy and Louisa, return to your nests like a pair of doves as you are. Mm-hmm.
That's what I got to. Oh, there's something on here that's
Yeah, I
bird
think
too.
I didn't realize about birds when I was reading that
Are-
part, so I didn't mark it.
Yeah.
Are doves like the love birds?
They are.
So maybe
or
it
they're
just
always in
represent-
pairs.
Maybe it just represents that she and Rochester were gonna get married, and that's like her interpretation of it.
She's talking about Amy and
Oh.
Louisa there.
Oh well, I thought we were talking about Blanche.
No, we were, but then we weren't.
There's
Oh,
a
she calls Georgiana a canary. Canary or Georgiana would chatter nonsense to her canary. Oh, never mind. To her canary bird by the hour.
What?
That's
still like
That's
yeah.
a legit bird.
That's kind of funny that she just
Straight up.
talks to her bird.
She talks to her bird. That makes her a bird by default.
Yeah. Oh man.
So,
Bird.
any more on birds, or do we want
Hold
to
on.
move on?
I'm looking.
You're
I'm
looking for birds?
Yeah, I feel like
I
we
am.
need a little
bird
Oh,
watches.
I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. I am a free
Mm.
human being with an independent will, which I now exert to leave you.
I
Yes.
love that line. Oof. Okay, so maybe she calls everybody bird because she knows in herself that she has things within her that make her somewhat superior to people. Like, she doesn't think she's better than everybody else, but she feels like she's more human
Yeah.
than everybody else and has, like, actual
Maybe.
emotion. I don't know.
I just realized something. I thought it's so interesting how like she's so adamant about leaving Rochester. Like she won't let him
Yeah.
keep her, and then she goes back to him in the end.
Well, because at the end,
Because
she
it's her
doesn't
own
feel
choice.
guilty.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Bertha's gone. Thornfield's gone. Everything's gone. So she's not the mistress. She's not.
Yeah, because she was so scared of being like that titled that within
Mhm.
society that
And
she didn't want to do that.
And she wanted to make sure for herself that Rochester's who she wanted to be with. She didn't know at the time.
And then you won't know me, sir, and I shall not be your Jane Eyre any longer, but an ape in Harlequin's jacket, a jay in borrowed plumes.
Yeah.
There's so much on birds. It's
Mhm.
so cool.
I love that a jay in borrowed plumes.
Yeah.
I found another one that's kind of earlier on 282.
That's where I am.
I knew that there would be pleasure in meeting my master again, even though broken by fear. But he was so soon to cease to be my master, and by the acknowledgement that I was nothing to him. But there was ever in Mr. Rochester, so at least I thought, such a wealth of power in communicating happiness to that taste, but of the crumbs he scattered to stray and stranger birds, like me, was to feast genially.
I stopped highlighting right before all the important stuff. Like, I didn't highlight the bird thing.
No?
No, because I'm dense. Anyway.
That's all I had on that page.
Yeah, me too. I highlighted, like, the first half of that.
Yeah.
I found another place the Red Room comes up.
Where?
327. She says, I was aware of her lurid visage in my life. Only the second time I became insensible from terror. And that's another comparison of her feelings in that moment. Insensible to terror, the feeling that the Red Room gave her
Oh.
also.
I just put my book on my laptop and just spammed cues.
I have written down that birds are her own sense of reality.
Oh,
And like how she relates herself with other people.
that's cool. What does she view herself as?
A human being.
No, she compares herself to a bird.
Yeah, but I think the lasting comparison is her standing up to Rochester and being like, I am a human being.
Oh, true.
I don't know. Like, she does compare herself to a bird. Is that before that happens?
I think so.
I think that's
Yeah.
that's character development right there.
Oh.
Maybe. She starts out as a bird, but then she's like, screw you. I'm an independent woman. I'm a person with feelings, and I'm not a bird in a cage. Or in the sky, because I'm not a bird at all.
You want to move on to another symbol?
Unless anybody has...
I want to look for more birds.
Birds?
Hold up. I know I have so many more.
Me too,
I
definitely.
just didn't mark anything. I kind of wish I did.
I just wrote bird in the margin.
Yeah, me
so I don't
too.
have any sticky notes.
Bird. Got a single sticky note with all the pages that I
It trembled for Mr.
Well, look at
Rochester
that.
and his doom. It bemoaned him commanded him with ceaseless longing. And important as a bird with both wings broken, it still quivered its shattered pinions in vain attempts to seek him. That's on 373, if anyone's interested.
On 487. This is the biggest bird.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
bird!
She says, once more on the road to Thornfield, I felt like a messenger pigeon flying home.
Yeah.
I wrote birds so big in that margin. I don't know. That just hit.
Where they at? No.
And then she says later, my journey is closed, I thought to myself. My heart leapt up. I was already on my master's very lands. It fell again. The thought struck it. Yada, yada, yada.
I cannot find it. 47?
The second paragraph, she says, once more on the road to Thornfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she compared herself to a messenger pigeon there, so I don't know.
Pigeon.
Oh, but I like
Bird.
birds flying home. She's flying to Rochester.
Yeah.
Oh, you are indeed there, my skylark.
What page is that?
506, sorry.
I just lost my page.
Yeah,
So
there it
mad.
is. And on the next page, water stood in my eyes. He hears a avowal of his dependence, as if a royal eagle chained to a perch should be forced to entreat a sparrow to become its purveyor.
Is that her comparing herself to a bird?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like her. She's in this case the sparrow, and Rochester is the royal eagle, and he's in that part he's giving like power to Jane, like giving her that equal stance with him, because he realized like with his physical disabilities that he has, he realizes that he needs help from an equal. He needs someone who can stand on that same stage as him and like help keep him in place.
And she's the one who knows him best.
Yeah.
Because he even says he doesn't like servants helping him. He'd
Yeah.
rather be alone than be with a servant. But like,
But he doesn't
Jane,
see
my
her as a
darling
servant.
Jane.
Yeah.
Right. He never really did,
No.
even as a governess.
On 497, the very bottom.
Yeah. Sorry.
Um,
Because he forgets about her salary.
Right. Because he's like conversating with her.
Sorry, go
No,
ahead,
it's
Maddie.
on the bottom of 497, going on to 498, it says, that reminded me of some wronged and fettered wild beast or bird, dangerous to approach in his sullen woe. The caged eagle, whose gold-ringed eyes cruelty had extinguished, might look as looked the sightless Samson. And then she goes on to say, and reader, do you think I feared him in his blind ferocity? If you do, you little know me. I love that.
I love how she addresses the reader.
Mhm.
And it's like one of my favorite reader quotes is like, reader, I forgave him instantly.
Uh-huh. And she calls him a caged eagle there because he's disabled now. He's kind of stuck, but he's still a big bird.
Where is it?
498. Very top.
98.
The bottom of 497 onto 498.
Yeah, okay.
The very top.
I feel like when she addresses the reader, she's making a realization.
Yeah.
Oh.
I get that.
It's like her reflecting back, because it's a memoir technically, but like fictional character.
She's like
Yeah.
telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
Reader, this is what's up.
Are we done with the birds?
I think so.
All right. What do we want to talk about symbol-wise now?
We could talk about the chestnut tree.
Okay.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Oh God.
Wait. Because Thornfield's on fire and they're roasting.
Whoa.
Stop it. Bertha, no!
That's
Bertha's
kinda
roasting on
wild.
an open fire.
No, Bertha smashed on the pavement.
In the fire!
R.I.P. Bertha.
The fire of her ex-lover's affair.
Boy.
Whoa.
Chestnuts.
I want to hear more about Bertha.
Bertha needs a sequel.
Yes.
Sequel.
Anyway, chestnut
Chestnut
tree.
Oh yeah.
How do we
It
feel?
represents their
Their love.
Jane and Rochester's love. And so right before Jane finds out about Bertha, the tree is struck by lightning and split, but the roots are still there.
Yeah.
So we know their
It's gonna
relationship.
grow back.
It's gonna grow back, and we
Or-
see that
yeah.
when Jane returns to the burnt and destroyed
Mhm.
Thornfield, that the tree is roots are still there, and that
Oh,
there's,
because she
like-
visits the tree.
Yeah.
Right.
She
Oh.
revisits it, and she's
What
like,
page? 'Cause it says
I got unfinished business.
And I think
Right.
I don't think of it as growing back because it's dead, but it's still there. Like the roots are in the
Oh.
ground. There's nothing to grow back from. It's just to go back to it and like keep going.
Oh.
Like they're not dead. They're just on a break.
No.
So it kind of represents like a timeline of their relationship.
Mm-hmm,
Kind of,
definitely.
yeah. Because it's even mentioned when they're walking through the garden, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're
that's
under-
where
they're
they
under the
confess.
chestnut.
That's where he's like, I'm
That's
gonna
where they
kiss you.
kiss.
Yeah, and then they
tree's always
do.
there.
Yeah.
I remember being so freaked out that they kissed, like, finally. It took forever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the quote about because I feel like we need more quotes.
Yeah.
Where
is it?
Down, suspicion. I wrote it down.
It's somewhere in 480.
Yeah, 480s.
Huh.
Let's find.
Let's find.
Alexa, play the Jeopardy music when we find those.
Alexa creeps me out.
I like Alexa.
Yeah, having my
You
quotes
like
in your own
Alexa?
I'm a
house.
big fan.
I don't like her.
Helpful.
Ooh.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is.
I went through like 3 highlighters just reading this book.
For real?
Yes, they all like except for one, they have all run out.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, wait.
Yeah.
I found a line that I like. It doesn't have to do with the tree, but it says, henceforward, I knew what fate St. John feared from me. Like, feared for me. That kind of hits. Because of, like, his fate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I found it.
Okay.
490.
Uh-huh.
I just got there.
Amidst the drenched piles of rubbish, spring had cherished vegetation, grass and weed grew here and there between the stones and fallen rafters. And oh, where the meanwhile is that hapless owner of this wreck in this land, under what a pieces?
A Pisces.
A Pisces.
I don't know.
A pieces.
A Pisces.
Wait. Auspices. Auspices.
Auspices.
Auspices.
What is this?
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it shows that there's like rebirth there, that there's growth within Rochester.
I like that part, the growth in
Mhm.
Rochester because
And she had a dream about it crumbling.
Mm.
Remember?
Yep. And then Adele ran in and she's like, the tree got struck. And she went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I just dreamed about that.
Yeah, what was the infant dream about?
Hold on.
Oh,
where
yeah.
she has like the infant and she's trying to get to
Yeah.
Rochester.
Yeah.
And she's trying to climb over a wall or something,
Yeah,
but by the time
yeah.
she makes it to the top, he's already like
long
Long
gone.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this
Yeah.
might be a far shot.
I'm listening.
Chestnut, Rochester.
All right, so that ends that podcast.
Raw chestnut.
Raw chestnuts.
Ew.
That's not right. Oh, another symbol thing.
Yeah.
So, the Adam and Eve parallel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Wait, enlighten
one?
me.
I don't know, I just
Do you know what Adam and Eve
I know what it is, but I want
With
to
the
see what you
chestnut
think.
trees. With the, like, that kind of goes with the
Uh-huh.
Chestnut Street.
Mhm.
like the whole like fall from Eden thing.
Yeah.
Oh, because after the chestnut tree, everything falls to pieces.
Yeah.
Their
It's like-
happiness.
And she's a
dispersed.
hobo.
There are multiple times where Jane refers to being at Thornfield with Rochester as paradise. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she gets not really cast out, but she like leaves.
She
heads
follows her temptation, and then it is ultimately the downfall.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I know something's fishy up here, but I love him, so I'm gonna marry him. She follows that marriage temptation, I think, because she's tempted because it's like such a good life.
Mhm.
But she still knows that something's funky going on.
Mhm.
And then it ends up that there is something funky going on.
And Bertha's
and
in the attic.
and she's crazy, and everyone is crazy, and she's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literature.
We've lost our professional.
Yeah.
This was never professional.
It's
But
alright.
I
We
love
can
it.
save it for the oral exam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is supposed to be a conversation.
It
so
is, and I
yes,
like
are.
it.
Oh, the Cinderella motif thing.
Yeah. Cinderella motif. She's kind of stuck, like Cinderella is, like cleaning in the house, whatever.
No, she's literally trapped in the house.
Yeah, she's
and
trapped
she's
in the
even,
house.
She's called like by one of the servants that's not the good one.
Uh-huh.
Less than a servant because she doesn't do work.
Yeah.
I think Mrs. Reed told her that.
Yeah.
No, it was,
No,
it was,
it's
it
at
was
Lower.
the servant. It was at no. It was-
No. I know
I think-
exactly
well,
what you're talking
no.
about. I know what you're talking about.
Brother.
But, and I feel like her cousins, when she was with Mrs. Reed,
Uh-huh.
are like the stepsisters. in a
Mrs.
way.
Reed is the stepmother.
Right.
No.
She is the one who's
She's
stuck
her-
with her.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold.
And
okay.
like she's got this.
Okay.
A little bit of Beth. Hold her arms, Miss Abbott. That's Betsy, right? Hold her arms, Miss Abbott. She's like a mad cat. For shame, cried the lady's maid. What a shocking conduct, Miss Eyre, to strike a young gentleman, your benefactor's son, your young master. Master, how is he my master? Am I a servant? No, you are less than a servant, for you do nothing for your keep. There, sit down and think over your wickedness.
Wait, maybe that's why she always is like, I need to repay you for, like, I need to earn my stuff.
Uh-huh.
Oh, because she's
Because she never, like, earned her place in
Mrs.
Bayside.
Reed's house.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoa!
And as far as the Cinderella motif goes, if it comes down between St. John and Rochester, I think Rochester's more like the prince at the ball. Because she runs away from him.
Mhm.
Who said that? Somebody
She's
said
afraid of him. She's afraid of how good it is.
that. Uh-huh.
She's afraid that, having played Cinderella myself, she's
You're wrong,
afraid.
Macron.
There's a whole number in Into the Woods about how I gotta think of the lyrics. Hold on, you guys keep talking.
Hold
And then, big brain.
Where
Big brain.
Great
No,
moment.
when she leaves Thornfield and she's like, I'm out. It's not, okay. In Cinderella, she leaves because it's about to be midnight and she's going to go back to her plain self.
Oh.
And at Thornfield, she was about to not be plain. She was about to marry him
Uh-huh.
and she's about to be all dolled up and she didn't like
She
it.
didn't want it.
And
at
she
all.
got out. It's kind of like,
Where you're,
you know what I mean?
Do you think she's
Yeah.
do you think she's her own fairy godmother?
or where everything's
Yo.
right, and you know
Because
that
that's
Yeah.
you'll
the
never
feminist
be
in it.
lost.
She doesn't need someone
She
else
doesn't
to
need-
save her, really.
Yeah.
Mine has got me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of good.
But
Yeah.
the lyric in the song from Into the Woods, she's like,
she's talking about the prince, and she's like, where everything's wrong. Now I lost it. I'm so dumb. Hold up.
As far as the fairy godmother thing goes, like Lindsay said, I also think, maybe not the godmother, like, I don't know if this has to do with Cinderella or not, but her uncle that
Oh wait,
died.
it is.
He's never physically there. Like, he's not there. But she always holds on to that as wanting family and, like, wanting everything and, like, wanting that connection with people. And he's that constant factor throughout the whole book.
Right. So it's technically through herself.
Yes, through him, through herself. He's Godfather. He's very Godfather, and I love that.
the lyrics that I found are,
So then which do you pick? Where you're safe out of sight and yourself, but where everything's wrong? Or where everything's right, but you know that you'll never belong?
Ooh.
So everything feels right when she's about to marry Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
But she's afraid that she won't vibe
She
with
won't
it.
fit into his
She won't be
society.
herself. She won't belong there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that like the time factor in Cinderella is like the place factor in Jane Eyre?
What do you mean?
Oh! Maybe.
Like running out of time.
Yeah. I mean, she's running away from places.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. And I like how the end of Cinderella, when he, in like the movie or the book, whatever, when he's going around with the slipper and he's trying to find it, he still loves her, even though she looks plain when he finds her again.
Oh, true.
Like, she's not all dolled up by fairy grandma, fairy godmother.
Yeah, no, the prince falls in love with her because
Yeah,
she's
because-
her. Because she's not
She's not-
all over him like all the rest of them are. Like Miss
Exactly.
Ingram and all those. They're not like trying to woo him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She's
She's
just
like-
herself. She calls him ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like
in
the first time they
Cinderella.
met.
Uh-huh.
Yep, and in Cinderella, she's just wearing her normal little apron dress situation, but the shoe fits. And
Brother. If the shoe fits,
you wear it.
you wear it.
And that's how the book ends.
The
She
shoe
ends up
fits,
with him.
you walk through the woods
And he
for 3
doesn't
days.
try to make her look like a princess or look like a beautiful person because she is
Right.
Yeah.
in her own way.
And the birds in Cinderella.
Yep, the birds in Cinderella. I don't know how
They're
that
like,
connects.
the birds always are with her.
Yeah, they're always
the birds
around. There's always
They're
going to be a bird.
supportive.
Some of them
Oh, true.
in the book.
I feel like she has the same imagination as Cinderella too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Cinderella had all these fantasies about like, oh, what if I get out? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You're gonna talk to the frickin' mice.
Yeah.
But so she's got such a big imagination, and that doesn't even stop when she grows up.
Right. It's always with her.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
it for symbolism?
I think so. Do you want to do a review?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, meaning? Meaning of the whole book or just the ending?
Yeah.
Or meaning of the topics.
Meaning of the topics. What do they mean?
Would you like the list of the topics?
I would.
Okay,
All
next to
right.
the sticky notes.
All right.
Are we gonna do all
let's
of the
see.
topics?
Yeah. What's the meaning?
I have all of them right here.
Yeah. So let's.
Oh, you have all of them.
Yeah, I
Never
got
mind.
it right here too.
Alright.
So, let's start. What's the meaning of the disempowerment of children? Like, why?
Why is that a thing?
Why is that there?
To show the growth in Jane and the growth of the book, I think. Like, if she hadn't been a disempowered child at the beginning, she wouldn't have the passion.
I think it shows the impact of trauma
Yeah.
on somebody.
I think it also shows the times, because that's how children were treated all the time in the Victorian age.
And it also gives comparison. I feel like a lot of this kind of literature uses the comparison. It has to use comparison to just fully describe what they are as a whole. So, like, the disempowerment of children shows the empowerment of Jane in a way.
As she grows up
Yeah.
and finds happiness within her passion.
Yeah.
Alright.
So, I guess that
So-
brings us to the next thing. Purpose of passion, I guess. Passion and reason. Do you want to do it?
well,
like
I mean,
that?
Let's wait for the end, maybe that.
Okay.
That one's like the
The big
all-encompassing
boy.
one.
Yeah.
So let's do the next one listed is enclosure and escape. What's the meaning of that?
Without her being enclosed, she wouldn't have anything to escape from. And if she didn't escape, there wouldn't be no Jane. Jane needs to escape. She needs to be enclosed and escape for her character to develop.
I think that there's never a full escape. You're always going to be having issues and problems, and you need to grow from it and learn from yourself. I think that's like the lesson learned from that.
I think you're always going to be trapped by whether it's responsibilities, because now even though she's happy, she's still technically trapped.
She's
She's in that
stuck with him.
society.
Yeah.
She's has to take care of her own financial means,
Mm-hmm.
which I think she's okay with because she
wanted that.
she wanted that. She accepted the responsibility that comes with independence.
She still has to accept her own past too. She still has to reflect on it.
Okay.
All right. The meaning of repression.
I think we didn't really touch on repression, did we?
We didn't
We
let
kind
full-
of.
We
I
will
feel
bit
like
here
she's
and there.
been repressed by everyone in her life.
Yeah.
Constantly, wherever
She's
she's
always
in,
being
she's
stepped
repressed.
And if she hadn't been being stepped on this whole time, she wouldn't have grown and, like, kicked people's feet out of her way and, like, gone on her own.
She wouldn't be such a strong character.
No, definitely.
Such a
She
strong
wouldn't have
woman.
such a strong will, a strong passion. She wouldn't be Jane. All this, I think, all of the answers to these are she wouldn't be who she is, in a way. Like, what's the purpose of this, that? She wouldn't be who she is.
Yeah, it all
They're
Like,
necessary
connects.
in shaping her.
right. It connects to her character and her character growth.
Maybe the repression, like, I remember in the first episode when we were talking about it, I was talking about how it makes the reader sympathize with her.
Yeah, because, like, someone can, like, kind of, or, like, relate to being, like, disempowered as a child.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you can relate and like you feel bad for a character, it really connects you to the book more.
Yeah.
And it gets you to take away the feminist or the gothic or whatever you're trying to take away from it if you have that connection.
And it really immerses you in the book if you can relate to something.
Or if you can sympathize with someone.
Yeah.
Alright. The meaning of the power of setting. I think this one has a
Power
lot
of
more to
place.
do with.
Is
I
that
think-
the-
Same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, that has a lot to do with enclosure and escape. Like, knowing how a place affects you, how those people affect you, and knowing that you need to leave that in order to grow, or knowing that that's where you want to be and that's how you'll be your best self, is if you surround yourself with the kind of people in that setting or that place.
And I think each setting is significant. Each place that she goes to, Lowood and Moorhouse and the Thornfield, everything, they all play a role in her development. Like, if she didn't have so many places to go, she wouldn't be so many things that she is.
She wouldn't meet so many people and thus not, like,
Everyone
become herself.
everyone goes to different environments throughout their whole life. Like, you know, you grow up and go to like a different house or like apartment or job or whatever, and every single place that you go to, you learn from.
It shapes you, and she's been shaped by everywhere.
That's
She's
why
been.
I think like a lot of the other symbols all contribute to each other. Like they all relate in some way.
All of these things are hand in hand with each other.
Yeah.
For sure. Alright, I think we've already kind of touched on like the purpose of like the alter egos and the foils, and like the character development kind of ties in with
All of
all of that. So then the overall meaning of the book with the resolution of passion versus reason. I think is where we're at now.
Her passion and reason level out at the end, like Lindsay said in the last thing.
Yeah, where it's like her passion
Is her reason.
is her reason. She finally accepts her passion and herself within this restrictive Victorian society that has done nothing but repress her and taught her to be repressive of herself.
She finally realizes that her passion is reasonable and she accepts herself for it and doesn't look for a role model or for help. She doesn't look to escape.
Or she doesn't
Yeah.
change her passion.
Yeah.
She doesn't
Yeah.
suppress her passion,
Or she goes by her own reason and not the reason of others.
which is her passion.
Yeah, because she's looked at Helen for reason, St. John for reason, Rochester.
A little bit.
I think more for his passion though.
Yeah. Because she finally,
That's,
like, her returning to him is her accepting her passion.
And she realizes that she doesn't want to follow reason. That it doesn't fulfill her as much as following passion does, and that's why she ultimately goes back
I
to
think her
Rochester.
passion is her reason in her eyes too. Like just as it's not everybody else's
Yeah.
reason. So
Yeah. But like it's always finding that balance, and that balance is different for different people. And Jane
Yeah.
realizes that as badly as society and as badly as she wants her balance to be reason up here with passion at the bottom,
Because that's
that
what
hers-
she's been taught.
that's what she exactly. So that she realizes that it's actually not that way for her, and if she wants to have a fulfilling life, despite what St. John says about like if she follows those passions that it will be bad for her, that she realizes that it doesn't matter because that will make her happy ultimately.
Yeah. Well, good.
Do you want to do our review?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to just go in a circle?
Like
and,
whether we liked it or not.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
do like a little blurb.
All right.
Who wants to start?
I can start.
All right.
I thought that I thought it was very long,
Yeah.
but it needed to be long in a way. Like it had to be long because it felt long for her. I feel like time is so funky, but I liked it. I liked how she ended up with passion in the end. I loved how she like I like happy endings, so I liked how she fell in love again with with Rochester. I don't know why I keep calling him Mr. Rochester. Yeah, I thought the language was good. I felt like I wouldn't have gotten into it if it hadn't been for school. But I feel like I'm that way for a lot of books.
Yeah.
But once I read them in school, I'm like, oh wow, that was actually a good book. I actually enjoyed it. But it was just time consuming.
Yeah.
But it was good. I liked it.
All right.
Well, it's not my genre. Like, I like suspense and mystery and horror. So this was kind of hard for me to read.
Suspense and mystery and horror.
Everything but
That's-
horrors in this.
I mean, there's like a little bit of horror.
Anyways.
But what I think that the gothic and the feminism was what kept me going through it, because I like that. I like those themes.
Yeah.
I also didn't expect to like the character of Jane as much as I did. I think it's because I related to her and I felt bad for her. And I just I also really like the ending. But I feel like I wouldn't read it either if it wasn't for school. But it's okay. It was an okay book. I liked how we got to read it. And I liked that we got to do this project.
Yeah.
Like, I like the freedom that we got with this book.
Alright.
Yeah, so I really like the book. I love Gothic literature so much, and it was really good. I thought it was going to be a lot harder to read than it actually was.
Language-wise?
Yeah,
me too.
like I thought it was going to be like something like Shakespearean, which is like, I wondered why I didn't pick it up before, but yeah, I thought it was really good. I also liked the ending and how she called him Edward. Like, finally, she didn't call him Mr. Rochester, which really she saw.
Or master.
I thought
Right.
she did.
No, I'm like the
in the last.
yeah, the last paragraph she calls him Edward.
I thought he called him. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what
I just didn't like that St. John was the last sentence of the book. I cannot stand him. I've never hated a character more in literature than that man. But yeah, I really like it. I love annotating books, so I really like that we got to do this and like had the freedom with this assignment that I really needed to get back into reading. Yeah.
Well, I did not like the book at first. It took 12 chapters for me to actually want to keep reading. And even sometimes in between, like after that, there were some chapters it's like, oh my god, stop. But I did enjoy it more than I thought I would. And I actually read the whole thing. I did not schmoop or spark note the entire thing for the first
same.
time in ever. Because I don't think I've ever actually read a book since like 8th grade. But I like that we could write in them and sticky note them, all that stuff. And I like the ending. At first I didn't see how it was feminist because she ended up back with Rochester, but she did it on her own terms, and I like that. And I kind of like how it ends with St. John dying because I don't like him, and he needed to die for this book to close without me having a meltdown. And I like how powerful that is. How they don't just like leave and she ends up with Rochester. He dies. He tips over. He gets to God. That's fine. Like, I think it's good that he was permanently removed from the situation. I think that's very powerful for the plot of the book. So, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, for the
And I love Bertha. Bertha kept me going.
I wish there was more Bertha.
I want a Bertha sequel. That's all I'm saying. So,
Charlotte, get writing.
You know, come on, you're probably dead, but this book's from like 18 whatever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She's spinning in her grave. Anyway, what did you think, Maya?
Alright, so I really liked this book. I don't know, I really liked the overall atmosphere and the way that the how emotion drove a lot of the plot. Like there was a lot of that attached to it, which for me was just it really helped keep it going. I thought the pacing, for a while I thought the pacing of the book was really weird because of it seems like she's gonna marry Rochester so early on. And I was really, really scared that they were gonna get married and they were gonna have a really bad
life
falling out.
Yeah.
And then it was just gonna be horrible and her life was gonna end up miserable. But the distance and adding on St. John was another layer of her discovering herself, which I really enjoyed. And I haven't found myself thinking about books in a way where I'm trying to predict what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
I haven't had that same kind of feeling about a book since middle school.
Yeah.
And I miss that so much. So it was really cool to kind of come to this and see the chestnut tree and wonder, wait a minute, what does this actually mean? And then try to predict something bad's gonna happen with their relationship. That gets me really excited, trying to figure things out. So I really liked that aspect of it, that it was not impossible to understand where the symbolism was pointing towards. What else was I gonna say? The ending.
Sorry.
So the ending, I really like the message in the end where the reversal of the wedding vows. I love seeing that come full circle. Because I don't know, it's satisfying. It's great. And it's it's wonderful. It's really cool to see that in Jane's character development and Rochester's development, how they both kind of come together and meet on equal terms. And even though St. John, I don't think he ever really has that same kind of resolution. He doesn't meet that same resolution that they do.
He doesn't deserve it.
But the thing is that even though he was he really did kind of treat Jane really poorly, but Jane is still able to recognize, I think in the end when he's I'm getting closer and closer to God, she could have chosen to disregard everything about him after she went back to Rochester, but she still has this profound respect for him. And realizing that even though he's so different from her because he is repressed emotion and full reason, that his life is, even though that his life is different and hers is very much more passion oriented, that she can realize that that's okay, that you are full on reason, and it's okay that she's full on passion. And it really just ties everything together, that it's fine. It's about finding a balance for yourself and not for everybody else.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier that it's a very accessible book.
Mm-hmm.
Imagery wise and symbol wise, and also language wise. It's gothic, but accessible at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought of something while you guys were talking about how you hadn't when you guys were talking about how you hadn't been so excited about learning what happened next in a book since middle school, and I was thinking about how doing this stuff, how much freedom we get with the book and how much we want to know more and how much we're studying, even with the symbols, we're looking out for stuff like that in a book, and it's helping us, or at least me, learn how to digest a book. Even if it's not for school, it's just so nice because it opens your mind to all that could be going on with a book and how much you can realize in a book, even if it's not for school.
I think the discussion days that we had every week really helped
Yeah.
me push myself to actually fulfill the deadline and actually read the book instead of schmooping it. Because it forced me to think
Yeah.
creatively and have my own thoughts.
The freedom almost made it more
Restrictive.
in a way.
I
Like
need that.
you have the freedom, so like you want to fulfill that.
Right.
It's not
It's more
just
self-discipline.
you have to read this,
Yeah.
Right.
whether you like it or not. But like we made our own dates, we made our own stuff, so we wanted to like fulfill that, so we could talk about it with our like peers. Yeah.
I think it was a very good book to have that freedom with.
Yeah.
Because like there's so much going on, there's so many symbols and so many themes and like ideas that you can discuss with it, and I think it was very nice to have that freedom with it.
I like how it wasn't given to us.
What, the deadlines?
The symbols, like explanations of the symbols, we got to figure it out with each other.
You just got to track the
instead
topics.
of our teacher teaching it to us,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is this and that is that. We
Yeah.
like got to figure it out for ourselves, and that was what made it so exciting. I don't know.
And I also think this was a good book to have, because we've never done something like this with the free discussion dates and like just the freedom. I think this was a good starting book for that, because there was just so much to talk about within it, so it made it a little easier to have discussion, and it was easy to understand for the most part.
It really makes me want to read more.
Yeah.
And, like, get more into, like, higher level reading that has stuff like this.
Yeah, if I can read Jane Eyre, I can read
Anything, pretty
Diary of a
much.
Wimpy Kid.
Love it.
All right. Well, is that all?
Yeah.
All right.
All right,
It's kind of sad.
this has been
The end of a Jane era.
end of the Jane hour, the Jane era. All right, this has been Aubrey,
Lindsay.
Rose,
Natty.
And Maya.
thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for making us do this.